Packers did incredibly well in this year's draft, and we are seeing evidences of that so far in training camp. In this particular video, I want to highlight a prospect that has been making waves at training camp, who I'm talking about. Before I jump into it, if you like the content, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's jump into it. The Green Bay Packers, I feel, got the best prospective linebacker in the draft in Edgerrin Cooper. They also got the best prospect safety in the draft in Javon Bullard. And I feel they got the best running back in the draft also when they drafted Marshawn Lloyd. You can make the argument that the Packers got the steal of the draft, a guy that has, I feel, the biggest upside, and a guy that was turning heads at training camp on Sunday. Who am I talking about? It is King. Okay, so Kalin King is, if you don't know who this dude is, you're going to find out who he is because you're going to be reading about him, hearing about him. Kalin King was a very top prospect coming out of Penn State. At least he was in 2022, where he was an All-American and had a monster season, which included 3 interceptions, 21 passes defensed. And then he stays around. 2023 wasn't as fruitful for him. He didn't get any interceptions, and he only had 2 pass defensed. However, he didn't allow a touchdown all season, which is very impressive. However, the not so sexy stats combined with how he did at the combine really resulted in him slipping in the draft. The Green Bay Packers end up capitalizing on how bad he did at combine. He ended up being the 3rd to last pick in the draft. Packers select him again. I think we're going to start seeing the fruits of this dude's labor. He has a monster day at training camp. But him slipping so far as he did in the draft, here's what he had to say about that. He was quoted as saying, "It was extremely motivating and not going where I thought I would go, seeing all the names being picked ahead of you. Just enduring all of that, I felt like it put a chip on my shoulder, a permanent chip on my shoulder that I've got to keep there." And we've read about that. We've seen it and heard it from the coaching staff there in Green Bay and some of the players, that this dude just has this chip on his shoulder. I really hope Kalin King can find a way to keep that there because, again, he had a very good day at training camp. Just how good? Let's read about it. It says right here, King was a perimeter cornerback at Penn State. With the Packers, he has been working at cornerback, also at slot. King was in the slot when he picked off Jordan Love with Christian Watson running a post. King jumped in front of Love's intended target for the interception, which resulted in a 65-yard touchdown. That's what this dude can do. He's a playmaker, but most importantly, because he was rated so slow at the combine, this dude has great instincts. And if he can just really rely on those instincts to get him through and just stop thinking so much and really just build that confidence, you're going to see what the results are, which we did on Sunday. So what did Corey Balentine have to say? Well, he was quoted about Kalin King. He said, "I think he's doing well. He's learning, obviously, but I think he's doing well. I think he adds to the group and contributes where he can. He's going to have a good, bright future in the NFL." That's what Balentine had to say about Kalin King. And then again, listen, this is probably not easy words for somebody like Corey Balentine because he's going to be competing for a star, just playing time really throughout the season. So when you've got the depth that the Packers do, and let's take a look actually where the Packers stand on the depth at the cornerback position. Cornerbacks there, Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Carrington Valentine. Eric Stokes and Carrington Valentine. What a matchup that is going to be to watch and to really just pay attention to throughout training camp, and then also preseason. Who's going to get the starting nod alongside Jair Alexander? I happen to think Eric Stokes. I think Eric Stokes is kind of playing with a chip on his shoulder. He knows he's going to be due a big contract if he has a big year. So I think Eric Stokes, we know he's got the potential, and we know he's used to the limelight playing where he played at college and then also his rookie season at Green Bay. He's just been plagued with injuries. So I'm excited to see if Eric Stokes can really take that leap forward, whether or not the Packers retain him under, extend him on a contract if he has a big year or not. I really don't think the Packers will because I think they've got a gem in Carrington Balentine. Carrington Balentine is a guy that has proved the last season when he had to step up with injuries to not only Eric Stokes, but Jair Alexander. Carrington Balentine is one of those dudes that certainly stepped into that role. Corey Balentine was another one that really stepped up when he needed to. Corey Balentine, I think, is just a really good special teams guy and then a very good backup if you need him. I don't see him, really being ever a true starter in this league. Kalin King, on the other hand, he's got tons of upside. Whether or not he can have a roster spot and play a nickel corner or anything like that, results to be determined. I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think of Kalin King. Are you as excited about this guy as I am? Because if this dude can play with a chip on his shoulder, read about like he's talked about, and also like the Packer coaching staff has said, I've heard some really positive things coming out of half out Kalin King. So I'm excited about it. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, go Pack Go.